Hi and welcome to Dave's Beatles channel. Today's video I'm going to be showing the Apple Records CD box set, so please come and join me. So hello everybody and welcome again to Dave's Beatles channel. Really hope I find all you fabulous Beatles people doing really well out there, and thank you so much for joining me again today on the channel. So yes, on today's video I'm going to be looking at the Apple Records CD box set, which was released back on the 25th of October 2010, and it concentrated mainly on the core artists and their albums that were of course signed to Apple Records. So inside the very flimsy box there is 17 CDs, 14 of which contain 16 of the original Apple albums released between 1968 and 1974, and of course there's also a compilation called Come and Get It, the Best of Apple Records. And then there's also on the final two CDs, it contains rare tracks from the Ivies, Badfinger, Mary Hopkins and of course Jackie Lomax. Sadly though, we do have a bunch of missing albums, which with a little more thought, they could have easily made this set much more complete and a comprehensive collection. So what albums are actually missing? Well, they are as follows. The Ivies, Maybe Tomorrow, Ravi Shankar in Concert 1972, Lon and Derek Van Eaton's Brother, Elephant's Memory, Mary Hopkin, Those Were the Days, and there's also a few releases that are only available in the USA, which are the film soundtracks Radha, Come Together, El Topo, and finally David Peel's The Pope Smokes Dope. Now, the only other possible inclusion for completists would also be the Best of Badfinger. And what about if they could have actually included the Walls Ice Cream EP as well? Wouldn't that have been fantastic? But as you may or may not know, some of those albums have actually been released on different record labels throughout the years too. So I'm guessing though that the copyright no longer belongs to Apple anymore to release those albums. Now we've got a lot to show today, so before then we are going to be jumping straight to I Call Your Name. So yes, it's on to those fabulous old shout outs, and it's a great big Beatle Dave hello to Charles Harris, Back Bacon Beer, Beetle Boy, Kevin Russell, Stephen Brown, Dronky, Virginia Aubrey de Paula, Dave Kahan, Thomas from Canada, how you doing Thomas, Trevor Halliday, Manuel Federico Cachaza San Juan, Psychedelic Punkster, Charles Duncan, and the walrus was Danny. So that's a massive hi to all of you fantastic Beatle people from yours truly, Beatle Dave. So on to the main event then today, and it's a look at the Apple Records CD box set from 2010. So why not come and join me? So here it is then, we've got the Apple Records CD box set, which was released on the 25th of October 2010. So it's a great looking little box set, as you can see. It's a really nice design, but sadly the only flaw is it's really thin and it's just a card, it really just isn't substantial enough to hold all those CDs. But what we got on the front there, we've got Apple Records contains 17 CDs remastered, fresh from Apple Records. Great stuff. And of course it's made to look like a wooden crate, as you can see on both sides. And then we got the back there, Apple Records box set. This box contains 16 Apple Records albums originally issued between 1968 and 1974. And there is also a brand new singles compilation, Come and Get It, the Best of Apple Records. Each original album has been remastered and the vast majority features bonus material as well as new packaging that includes updated notes and visuals. In addition, we are pleased to make available on CD the recordings selected for release as digital downloads, and what a super double CD that really is, with loads of unreleased tracks. And we've also got the list of albums there, being Badfinger. We've got 4 from Badfinger, Magic Christian Music, No Dice, Straight Up and Ass. Then we've got Mary Hopkins, 2 by Her, which is Postcard and Earth Song, Ocean Song. With Jackie Lomax, Is This What You Want? We've got 2 albums by the Modern Jazz Quartet on 1 CD, being Under the Jasmine Tree and Space, followed by Billy Preston's 2 albums, That's the Way God Planned It and Encouraging Words. Got the album by the Radha Krsna Temple, John Taverner's double CD of The Whale, and of course Celtic Requiem, or Celtic Requiem, not actually quite sure if it's Celtic or Celtic. James Taylor there, his debut and only album on Apple, and obviously Doris Troy's only album on Apple there, and then we got the Come and Get It, the Best of Apple Records CD, and finally the Apple Records double CD, which contains loads of unreleased tracks. So of course also in the box, just show you the top flap, just a flimsy creation. That's the only fault really with this box set. It's a lovely box set, but just the box itself is very, very inadequate. Okay, so on to the actual CDs that are inside the box set, and I'm going to go through them as they are listed on the actual back of the box set, not necessarily in release date order, but we're going to start with Badfinger's Magic Christian Music, and that was originally released on the 9th of January 1970, Sapcore 12. So all these Apple CDs then are in like the digipack style, rather than dual case, but they look pretty good. As you can see, there's a great looking album sleeve, we've got the Apple Records at the side, and of course on the spine as well. And it's a great looking CD, this one, really nice. And of course we've got the original album with about 4 bonus tracks there, as you can see. I mean, most of these CDs have all got great bonus tracks. It's worth it alone just for that. And of course, a lot of these tracks were on the Ivy's first album, which was obviously remixed and put into this particular album. And obviously by then, I think, was it Ron Griffiths obviously left, and then Joey Molland joined, which is why you've only got the 3 guys there at the bottom of the picture. But nevertheless, a great album. So there's the gatefold. I'll look at the gatefold first. As you can see, 4 guys there. Obviously Ron Griffiths is in there on this particular gatefold. But we're going to look at the booklet before we look at the CD. Once again, got the same image, and on the back, of course, a little bit of information from Mal. And there we go. Hello Badfinger and goodbye Ivies. That's obviously taken at the basement there in Apple. But it's absolutely great, loads of information there. Keep you busy. Great photos. And so all the information's been updated since the early 90s issues, of course. And there we are, this is all the credits. Bit of promotion. And then the actual CD itself, which is in here somewhere. All these CDs look really great. These are really good looking Apple labels, these. Really nice. So on to the next one then, and it's Badfinger's second LP called No Dice, and this was originally released on the 27th of November 1970, catalogue number Sapcore 16. So another great looking sleeve then. Of course you've got the model, which it doesn't actually open out like the actual original LP, but it opens out to the side. But of course you've got that Apple Records logo there again, and of course you've got the spine. Great bunch of tracks on here. Of course, you got, the Nielsen track, which he made really, really famous, Without You, on this particular album, tucked away there. You've got a song called Love Me Do, which actually isn't the Beatles version. And of course, you've got No Matter What, which is an absolutely fantastic song. One of my favourite Badfinger tracks. Once again, you've got a few bonus tracks there. Brilliant stuff. Take a look at that gatefold before the booklet. Great shot of the guys there. Really nice photo. Let's take a look at that little booklet then. But on here you've actually got the full image, what it should have been as the gatefold. And let's just take a look inside, just a quick look inside. Once again, some great photos of Badfinger. Guys in a haystack by the look of it. And I've met Joey Molland a few times, a really nice guy, great guy. Always really, helpful and very courteous. So that's your booklet. So we've got, of course, the little CD inside, which is pretty much the same type labels. Like most of these discs, they all look pretty good, although there's a few lighter ones within this set, which we'll come to in a moment. Great looking disc though. So on to Badfinger's third Apple album, which is called Straight Up. That was originally released on the 11th of February 1972 in the UK, Sapcore 19. So partly produced by George Harrison and Todd Rundgren, then probably my favourite Badfinger album actually, this one. I really do like this album. Great shot again, once again. Got Apple Records there at the side. And of course your spine. And once again, you've got about half a dozen extra bonus tracks there, you know, just superb. You know, got so many great outtakes and, you know, unreleased tracks on some of these CDs. Really just wonderful. And of course, the original album, including Day After Day, really great song. Love that song. Really great song. So, there we go. Let's just have a look for the booklet in a minute. I must have left that one inside, I think. There we go. There's the booklet in there. A lot of them I took out ready to do this video. Obviously, you know, saves a bit of time. But there's the front image once again. A little flick through. Got some promotional material, obviously, within these booklets. It's always nice to see that sort of stuff. And plenty of great info. There's some promotional leaflets and things within. And there's the back. And of course the actual CD in there, in the other pocket of the album. And all these albums sound absolutely superb as well. The CD mastering is second to none on these. It sounds so good. So on to Badfinger's final Apple record then, which is Ass, originally released on the 8th of March 1974, catalogue number Sapcore 27. So this album was actually produced by Chris Thomas, Badfinger, as well as Todd Rundgren again. So once again, you've got a great looking sleeve with the carrot and the donkey. And of course, you've got the Apple Records logo once again there. And there's the spine. You've got some more bonus tracks on here. You know, as I said, most of these discs have got extra bonus tracks, which is worth the price alone. And you've got that donkey again. He's quite a celebrity on this album, isn't he? Of course, if you've got the original UK edition, it should have an inner sleeve with that donkey on. If yours hasn't got it, then obviously, you know, there wasn't that many with it. So it's quite rare to find it with actually that particular inner sleeve. Very hard to get. So, there's the booklet. So once again, you've got plenty of information there in these booklets. Great photos. Funny face from Joey there. And there's that donkey again. And there's the credits and the tracks from the album. And the back. So let's take a look at the CD. And if I remember rightly, actually the actual label is a lot lighter than some of the others in this set. There's a couple like this, but you know, that's a lot more legible. It's easier to read on this particular label, but still looks great though. So on to the first of two Mary Hopkin LPs which she recorded for Apple, and obviously this one's called Postcard, which was originally released on the 21st of February 1969, and catalogue number is Sapcore 5. So this was produced by Paul McCartney, this album, and it's a great photo of Mary there. And you've got your Apple Records logo, and your spine. There's several bonus tracks on this particular edition. And then we're going to take a look at the gatefold. More photos of Mary there. Nice colour shots. And then we'll take a look once again at the booklet. Just like the original album would be. Sleeve. Plenty of info there. Big artist for Apple, Mary Hopkin. And I believe not that long ago she had a new album out, which is quite amazing. So she's still recording and stuff, which is always nice to hear. And there's Paul McCartney there. Peter Asher, I think, and obviously Mary Hopkin. There's the back. And just take a look at the discs then. Once again, these sound fantastic. These CDs. More bonus tracks than what we got in the early 90s on those editions. So these have all been updated, of course, with extra tracks and better quality sound. That's always a good plus. On to Mary's second album then for this particular box set, and it's called Earth Song, Ocean Song, originally released on the 1st of October 1971, Sapcore 21. So produced by Tony Visconti, who ended up actually marrying Mary. Once again, a really great looking sleeve, this one. Mary in some sort of wood or something there. And of course, once again, Apple Records there at the side. And you got your spine, nice blue spine. Once again, you've got a few good bonus tracks on here. I'm going to take a look at the inner sleeve the gatefold sleeve, should I say. There's some information there on the right hand side. I'm just going to take a look at the booklet. Obviously, later on they released the greatest hits of Mary, being Those Were the Days. With some great tracks on. That was really, you know, Mary's final Apple record. And that's the last page, I think. One more page with all the credits and a final picture of Mary there. Okay, let's just take a look at that CD. Slightly darker one this time, but great stuff. So on to Jackie Lomax's only Apple album then, which is This What You Want? Released on the 21st of March 1969, catalogue number Sapcore 6. So co-produced then by George Harrison and Jackie Lomax. Gotta say, this is really one of my favourite Apple records. An absolute brilliant album, really love this one. Great photo of Jackie there, good striking image. Once again there, you've got Apple Records at the side. And of course, there's your spine. And there's the back. About 5 or 6 extra bonus tracks, you know, different mono mixes and stuff. Really love Sour Milk Sea, an absolutely brilliant song. Some really good songs on here anyway, you know, New Day and Little Yellow Pills and stuff like that. Fall Inside Your Eyes, really good tracks, you know, really good album. Recommend that to anybody. So of course there's your gatefold sleeve, Jackie there in some sort of tunnel with someone walking out the other end. And there's your booklet. George and Jackie there on the right. Obviously, you know, they do look very similar looking guys, you know, from a distance. Very similar looking hair for the time. Good photos of Jackie, of course. It's probably in a London park or some, you know, somewhere there. And there's Jackie in a London street, of course. And that's the back. Let's just take a look at the disc. Another great sounding album. Lovingly restored. Really great stuff. So on to the modern jazz quartet then, and we've got 2 albums on one CD. We've got Under the Jasmine Tree, which was originally released on the 6th of December 1968, catalogue number Sapcore 4, and also Space, which was originally released on the 24th of October 1969, Sapcore 10. So it's always great when they put 2 albums on one particular disc, but you kind of lose the artwork on this particular one, although the way they've done it is they put the front sleeves this side and the back sleeves on that side. But still quite clever in a way. So there's that Apple logo again there at the side with your spine. And of course, all the tracks with a bonus track of Yesterday, which is quite an interesting listen. It's very, very different, but certainly great from the MJQ. Of course, then there's your gatefold sleeve on the inside. And then the booklet. Once again, replicates the 2 album sleeves there on the front. And then we're going to have a little flick through. Look at the colours of that. That's amazing. Of course, John Lennon actually said Space was one of his favourite album sleeves from Apple. And, you know, I can understand why. Really great stuff. Both of the album sleeves actually look really, really brilliant. Plenty of information there about the guys. And there's the albums on the right there with master tape as well. Really good digital transfer. This one really does sound really superb. And of course, there's the actual disc with both the albums on this one disc. Great stuff. So on to 2 Billy Preston records then, which he recorded for Apple Records. The first one is That's the Way God Planned It, which was originally released on the 22nd of August 1969, catalogue number Sapcore 9. Produced by George Harrison. It's a great looking sleeve, the quadruple Billy there. Great stuff, really striking image that one. And there's your Apple Records on the green band there, if you like. With your spine. Some great bonus tracks here on this particular album. Of course, it's just a great album anyway. It's a really funky album. And there's your inner sleeve there, inner gatefold sleeve. With the quadruple Billy again. And of course, there's our booklet. Just have a little flick through there then. Plenty of great shots of Billy recording and playing guitar and stuff. It's great stuff. Good photos. One of George and Billy there, of course, discussing something. And there's like the back of what would have been the original back sleeve of the album. And of course, to take a look at the actual CD itself. Brilliant stuff. Really does sound fantastic, this album. So on to Billy Preston's second and final Apple album then, Encouraging Words, which was released on the 11th of September 1970, catalogue number Sapcore 14. So co-produced then by George Harrison and Billy Preston. And of course this is the album where Billy recorded My Sweet Lord. Obviously before George, but obviously George's version is obviously the keeper, as we all know. The great, mind you, this version is still pretty good from Billy. It's a great, great version. So once again there you got that Apple Records at the side, and there's your spine. Another great bunch of extra tracks on this album. Another great funky album. Take a look at the inner gatefold, of course. Billy looking quite snazzy there. And let's take a look at that booklet. So once again you've got the same image as you would have got on the original front sleeve. They've really done, really created some really great albums here. It's just a shame, they couldn't have just given us a better box to hold all these fantastic CDs in. It would have been something else. They could have really made this the ultimate Apple Records box set. And there's Billy Preston's single, My Sweet Lord. It's out now on Apple. And there's Billy again with all the songs and the credits, production notes, etc. We'll just take a look then at the CD itself. Another dark one, but still looks great. And of course the important thing is it sounds great. So we're on to the Radha Krsna Temple album then, which was originally released on the 28th of May 1971, catalogue number Sapcore 18. So solely produced by George Harrison. A really great looking sleeve, this one as well. Really does look quite fascinating. And of course you've got the colour banding at the side there, Apple Records. With your colour spine as well. A couple of bonus tracks on here. But yeah, it's not a bad album. It's not one that's really been on my turntable too many times, or in this case a CD. But it's certainly an interesting listen, as a lot of the Apple stuff is. And there we are, they've got the little booklet. This is quite a thick booklet actually. A lot of pages in here, or the paper might be slightly thicker. But there's plenty of information about the Krsnas and George producing them, and obviously being on top of the pops, which they were. They've done quite well. I think their singles did pretty good in the charts, which just goes to show you. It's great stuff. And there's the back. So take a look at just the disc then. Once again they've done a great job in mastering all these albums. It sounds so good. So as well as the Modern Jazz Quartet then, we've got the two John Taverner LPs included on one disc. We've got the Wow, which was originally released on the 25th of September 1970, catalogue number Sapcore 15. And then we've got Celtic Requiem, which was originally released on the 2nd of July 1971, catalogue number Sapcore 20. So once again, two albums on the one disc. It's always good stuff, with The Whale and Celtic Requiem. Great stuff. So you've got that colour band in there of Apple Records. And there's your spine. And of course, we'll look at the back first. Once again, you've got John Taverner there with both the albums and the backs of the sleeves, which you would see on the original albums. And of course, there's your gatefold inner sleeve with some extra text there. And of course, the little booklet. You've really got to concentrate when you listen to these two albums. I think it's, you've got to really concentrate. It's not the sort of thing you can just put on and come back to. I think you've really got to take on the listening experience. But it's, it's certainly different. Nothing wrong with different. There's John Taverner himself, who died a few years ago. And there we are. They've got Celtic Requiem and The Whale, with some promotional bits going on there, top right, as well as on the back. And of course we've got the disc. Once again, these sound pretty fabulous, these albums. Certainly a great listen. So on to another one of my favourite Apple records then. We've got James Taylor, which was originally released on the 6th of December 1968, catalogue number Sapcore 3. So produced by Peter Asho, who's obviously the brother of Jane. It's a great album, this one. Great photo, which was taken, I believe, in Windsor. So you've got James Taylor in black there, and I believe the later copies had the black writing, and the earlier copies had the orange writing. Obviously, it was released in mono as well, which is incredibly hard to get. There's Apple Records there at the side, and there's your spine. And of course, you've got the inner gatefold with all the lyrics, and then of course on the back you've got the track listing with a few bonus tracks, and there's the full effect there. But let's take a look at that booklet first, which obviously has got the orange writing on it, which is obviously the first pressing. And there's James Taylor. Obviously the record didn't do too well, sadly. You know, it should have done a lot better than it did. Obviously done better when James Taylor signed up for Warner Brothers and Apple re-released this album, and it done a lot better. But it just didn't do very well on its first issue. But it's a great album, one of my favourites. Let's take a look at the disc then. And there we are. Great looking disc, and really does sound so good, this album. So now we're on to Doris Troy's only Apple album then, which was originally released on the 11th of September 1970, same day as Billy Preston's Encouraging Words, catalogue number Sapcore 13. So produced by Doris Troy and George Harrison, and obviously there's some Billy Preston involvement on this album as well. You got Stephen Stills as well. There's a lot of people involved in this album, but it's a great album. You know, another one of my favourites actually. So you've got a picture of Doris there with that colour banding at the top, and of course your spine. Once again, you've got a few tracks, extra tracks on here. In fact, it's quite a lot of extra tracks. You've got the original tracks was included with the original release, and of course they've added a few more since. It's always good stuff to have extra tracks. So, great photo of Doris there, hard at work. Just have a look at that little booklet. Once again, plenty of great information there. There's Billy and Doris. Really great singer. I believe she was involved in also Dark Side of the Moon, singing backing vocals, I believe, Doris Troy. Of course, there's George and Stephen Stills there. I think they fell out, if I remember rightly. I believe there's some sort of argument. I can't remember what it was all about, but I believe that is true. Right, take a look at the actual disc then of Doris Troy's album. There we go. Another great Apple record. So released exactly the same day as this particular Apple Records box set, we've got the compilation Come and Get It, the Best of Apple Records, released on the 25th of October 2010, catalogue number Sapcore 29. So this really is a fantastic collection of really rare Apple singles and the like. Of course you've got Come and Get It, the Best of Apple Records there, with the headphoned Apple. And of course you've got the same banding, keep in line with the rest of the albums. And there's the spine. And of course, there's your track listing. But we'll take a look at the inner gatefold sleeve first, which has got lots of different Apple promotions there, booklets and things. So the track listing then is as follows. Those Were the Days by Mary Hopkin, Carolina in My Mind by James Taylor, Maybe Tomorrow by the Ivies, Think of Me Bob by the Black Dyke Mills Band, King of Fire by Brute Force, and that's a mono mix, and it's an incredibly rare single anyway, Sour Milk Sea by Jackie Lomax, Goodbye by Mary Hopkin, That's the Way God Planned It by Billy Preston, another track from Jackie Lomax being New Day, and that's a mono single mix, Golden Slumbers Carry That Weight by Trash, Give Peace a Chance by the Hot Chocolate Band, and that's a mono mix also, Come and Get It by Badfinger, Ain't That Cute, which is by Doris Troy, and then we got My Sweet Lord by Billy Preston, with Try Some Buy Some by Ronnie Spector, and then we got Govinda, which is by Radha Krsna Temple, We're On Our Way by Chris Hodge, with Saturday Night Special, which is a mono mix by the Sundown Playboys, then we got God Save Us, which is by Bill Elliott and the Electric Oz Band, and Sweet Music by Lon and Derek Van Eaton, And also right at the end there, we've got another Badfinger track, which is Day After Day, an absolutely super collection of Apple singles and the like. Now we're going to look at the actual booklet itself, which is exactly the same cover there. And it goes through all those tracks that I just mentioned and a little bit of information about every one. Brilliant stuff. A really great collection. This is so, so brilliant. It's untrue the amount of diverse stuff that's on this particular CD. And really quite a rare bunch of singles if you collected them all. I think I got best part of them. And there's the back of the booklet. Great stuff. So let's look at the actual CD itself then, which is in line with the others, exactly the same. A great collection of rare Apple stuff. So the final CD then to show of the Apple Records box set is the bonus 2 CD set, which is all unreleased tracks. Now initially these were going to be for download only, but in their wisdom they've gone ahead and included it in the box set, and quite rightly so. And obviously this does have a catalogue number, being SAPCOR 30. As you can see then, sparse information. It's got some sort of like yellow in. I think it's been made to look sort of like an off-white as well. But you've got Apple Records there. I don't think there's anything on the spine. Looks more like the White Album. You've got some sparse information there at the bottom. And then you've got basically what would be Apple Studios master tapes. But a lot of the tracks are from the Ivies, Badfinger, Mary Hopkins and Jackie Lomax. But there's, that's basically all that's included on these CDs. So let's take a look at both discs. There we go. Apple Records Extra Badfinger disc 1. And then we've got disc 2, which is obviously the sliced apple. Apple Records Extra Mary Hopkin, Jackie Lomax disc 2. An absolute worthy addition to this box set. So just want to thank you all for joining me today on the channel. Really hope you've enjoyed seeing the fabulous Apple Records CD box set. And don't forget, as always, I appreciate any comments or communication I get from any of you fantastic Beatles people, and I will always come back to you just as soon as I can. So anyway, as always, if you enjoy what I'm doing, why not give us a like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. This is Beatle Dave signing off. Stay well.